today what we will be solving is problem number 7 that is unsolved in your textbook on page 59 and 60. It starts on 59 and then continues onwards to page 60. So we will solve that one problem today. So as usual when we are starting the sum, let's make our tick marks for the adjustments. So first adjustment is regarding closing stock, which is independent, don't do anything with that. Outstanding wages, we will tick mark wages. There are two wages in this sum, wages and unproductive wages. We will only tick wages, don't tick the unproductive. Okay, unproductive is in the P&L. So we will only tick wages. Then create a provision for bad debts and maintain RTD. So two tick marks on debtors and see if there is bad debts or RTD. No, it's not there in this sum. So only two tick marks on debtors we will have. Then goods of 1800 distributed as free samples. You have two choices, minus from purchases or we'll record it separately on the credit side of trading account. This time we do it on credit side of trading. Goods of 2000 were sold and delivered, but no entry was passed in the books of accounts. So for the fifth adjustment, you will have to make a tick mark on sales and you will have to make another tick mark on debtors. So debtors now will have 3 tick marks, sales will have probably 2 tick marks. There is returns also. So we have to leave 3 lines for sales. So when you are drawing the format, remember 3 lines for sales to leave. So let's start with the sum. First is opening stock. So opening stock we will put it on the debit side of the trading account. It is 8,700 rupees. Then is purchases, we will put it in the inner column, 18,300 on trading account debit side. Wages will again come on trading account debit side. In the inner column only it has a tick mark. Wages is 1,000. We show an arrow going outside. Insurance is a non-manufacturing expense. Insurance will come here on the debit side of P&L, 800 rupees. Unproductive wages, that is also non-manufacturing. It will come here, unproductive wages, that is 1400, no tick mark on that. Then is warehouse rent. Warehouse rent is a selling and distribution expense. It will come here only. So to warehouse rent account, warehouse rent is 600 rupees. Then after warehouse rent is carriage outward. Carriage outward is again a selling and distribution expense. So it will come here on the debit side. To carriage outward. So carriage outward account is, how much is the amount? 1,200. Then is sales returns. So sales returns I will minus it from sales. What I will do is, I will leave the first sales, then I will leave 2 lines. On the third line, I will record minus returns. I will put the value there. So sales returns is 600 rupees. I will minus it last. Then is export duty. Export duty I generally pay on my finished goods. Customs duty I pay on my imports. So exports duty I will record it here on the debit side of P&L account. So export duty 1,400. Now the very next item, custom duty. Custom duty is understood, it is for imports. If it is for imports, then it will be a part of manufacturing cost. So here we will put custom duty. Custom duty is 800. Outer column. Then we have is our sundry debtors. So they are your assets. On the asset side, we will record 40,000 and they have 3 tick marks. 3 tick marks means we will leave 5 lines for sundry debtors. Always 3 tick marks, 5 lines. Then is investments. Investments is another asset. So on the asset side only we will record investments 15,700 rupees. That is my investments. After investments we have is factory rent. Factory rent is a manufacturing cost. It will go to trading account debit side to factory rent account. 1,600 is my factory rent. And postage and telegram. Postage and telegram is non-manufacturing office expense. So postage and telegram amount is 400. So these are all the items that were there on the debit side of the trial balance. So not many in this sum. So it was simpler. And there are few items which you should be careful of, like customs duty, export duty, what is there, unproductive wages. These items you should be a little careful of. Now we start with our credit items. So the first one that is there is sales. So sales I will put on the credit side here. Next to sales amount is 68,000. Normally I would have minus the returns, but in this sum I will have to wait till the end of the sum because there is an adjustment on sales. So I have to account for that before I can minus the returns. Then is dividend. Now this dividend on the credit side indicates that I have invested some money into shares of another company and they are giving me a dividend in return for that shares. So that dividend is an income. It's not manufacturing in nature. So I'll put it on the credit side of my P&L account. So here I will record on the credit side by dividend account. Dividend is 2,000. Remember, when you put money in bank, you will earn interest. But when you put money into shares, you will earn dividends. Then after dividend is purchase returns. Purchase returns I will minus it from purchases. So purchase returns are there. They are how much? 500 rupees. So how much would I get? 17,800 rupees outside. Then after purchase returns is next item is sundry creditors. Sundry creditors is a liability. What I will do here is first I will record capital. Who are the two partners? Satish. Generally you will leave about 4 or 5 lines. Pramod, leave about 4 or 5 lines. Then we will record creditors. So sundry creditors is 13,000. Then after creditors is 10% bank loan 8,000 with effect from 1st of July 2018. I told you, a minute there is something in bracket, there is a hidden adjustment. So let us tackle this first. Let us record our loan. So here I will record 10% bank loan. And the 10% bank loan, what is there? The amount is 8,000. Now to calculate the interest, how much interest we have to pay on this bank loan, because it is taken on 1st of July and they haven't given us any interest paid. We didn't come across any interest. So that means we haven't paid any interest. So let us calculate how much we have to pay. So 10% means 10 upon 100 of 8,000, which is the bank loan. And this loan was taken when? On 1st of July. So from 1st of July till we are preparing the balance sheet on 31st March. So how many months will that be? Let's count. July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So a total of 9 months has passed since I took the loan. So I will take the interest for 9 months. So how much do I get? So 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12, 4 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 0, 0, 3 2s are 600 rupees. So I get the interest as 600 rupees I have to still pay, which I haven't paid. So let us pay that interest. So oops, I put it outside. What we do is we put this 8,000 inner column. Sorry, I put it outside, we will put it inside. Plus outstanding interest 600. So value becomes 8,600 in the outer column. And second effect, this interest is payable. So here I will record to outstanding interest account 8,600 rupees. So that will be my total amount of amount that I have to. Sorry, what am I putting? Sorry, it will be 600 rupees. That is the outstanding interest that I have to pay to the bank. Why 600 rupees? 8,000 is the liability, 600 is the interest that I have to pay. So 600 I will put here. After bank loan is other receipts. Other receipts will come here on the credit side. By other receipts. Other receipts is 1,000 rupees. I'll just repeat the outstanding interest in case there is any confusion. On 8,000 rupees, I calculated 10% for a period of 9 months. So 600 came the amount. 600 I added, I put it outside, and that 600 is due still to be paid. It's an expense, not manufacturing in nature. So I put it here on the debit side. After other receipts, I have finished with all the trial balance items. So I start with my adjustments. First one is talking about closing stock. So on the credit side of trading account, we will record by closing stock account 15,400 rupees. And on the asset side of the balance sheet, we will record closing stock 15,400 rupees. Where is the capitals of the partner? Okay, they don't want us to prepare the balance sheet, therefore they have not given us the capital balances. Anyway, we'll see what is to be done. So the difference in the balance sheet will be the capital. We'll prepare it for practice. Outstanding wages are 500. So outstanding wages are 500. So I will add to my wages, outstanding wages 500 rupees. So outside we will get 1,500 rupees. And on the liability side of the balance sheet, we will record outstanding wages 500 rupees. Then after outstanding wages, okay, create a provision for bad debts and maintain RDD. I will not do this adjustment till I do the last adjustment. So I will wait. I will not do this adjustment as yet. Fourth adjustment let us do. Goods of 1,800 were distributed as free samples. So let us distribute the goods as free samples. So on the credit side here, buy goods distributed as samples account. How much we have distributed? 1,800. Second effect will come here on the debit side. Two goods distributed as sample. 1,800. After that, now see the last adjustment. Goods of 2,000 were sold and delivered on 31st of March, but no entry is passed. Now, if you have sold goods, the value of my sales will increase. So I will add this first to my sales plus unrecorded sale. So unrecorded sales is 2,000, no? 2,000 rupees. So the value of my sales becomes 70,000. From 70,000 I will find the minus 600. So 69,400 is what I will get outside. Okay? And second effect, it's an adjustment means two effects. So if I have got sales I have made, so I added to my sales, but my value of customers, debtors will also increase. Why debtors will increase? Because these are the people I have to recover money from. So if I have sold goods for 2,000 rupees and I have not received money, they have not told me anything about receiving cash. So I will assume it is credit sales and I will add it to my debtors as unrecorded sales. 2,000 rupees. So the value of debtors becomes 42,000. Now on this 42,000, I can do my bad debts and RDD. So first let's do our bad debts. So from this now I will minus my bad debts. So my bad debts given to me are 800 rupees. So I minus 800 rupees, so I get 41,200 rupees. And I will record it on the debit side here as two bad debts account 800 900 rupees. To this I will add the new RDD. So new RDD I will just take. So how much is the RDD? They have said it has to be 3%. So let us calculate how much is 3% of 41,200. 1,236. So let us minus the RDD. So 1,236 minus 41,200. So 39,964. And this 1,236 will come here. So outside we will get 2,036 as the total bad debts plus RDD. So this completes all the adjustments. Now what we need to do is we need to do our closing, but here the closing will be slightly different. Why slightly different? Because we don't know the capital of the partners. It's not given because they didn't want us to make the balance sheet. But we have made the balance sheet. Does that mean that our sum will not tally? Well, there is a difference in the tally here. What will happen is the total of assets will be greater than the liability. So the difference will represent the capital amounts of the partners. So let's see how to do this. First, let's close this thing, trading account. So 69,400 plus 1,800 plus 15,400. So 86,600 is my total of the trading account. From 86,600 and minus all this. 86,600 minus 8,700 minus 17,800 minus 1,500 minus 800 minus 1,600. So 56,200 is my gross profit. This 56,200 I will bring it down here. And then I will close my P&L account. So 56,200 we will write it here. 56, 57, 59,200 is my total. From 59,200 I will minus all these debit items what are there. So minus 800, minus 2,000, minus 1,200, minus 1,800, minus 600, minus 1,800, minus 2,036. So 48,964. This will be to net profit. This net profit, what is that? Will be distributed to both the partners equally. Why equally? Because when no ratio is given, we consider it equally. But the problem here is, even if I consider it equally, I will not be able to get individual partners' capital balance. I will get the joint capital balance. So, what we can do is, just for the sake of showing the working, we can show net profit 24,482, net profit 24,482. I do not know the capital balances, I will know only the total after adding the net profit. Now let's see the total here. So it will be 39,964 plus 15,700 plus 15,400. So that is 71,064. 71,064. Okay, minus these three. 71,064 minus 500 minus 8,600 and minus 13,000. So 48,964. So 48,964 is the difference. That means there was no capital by the partners introduced. Their total amounts were 24. So capital total introduced was the profit only. So 48,964. There is no capital introduced by the partner. See, they had not asked us to prepare this thing, the balance sheet. So that is why this kind of this thing was there. There was no capital balance given to us. Now, this completes this particular sum. But what I want you all to do is the problem number 8 of Nana and Nani, that is on page number 60 only, it's starting. I want you all to try that sum on your own, because that sum I will not solve with you. What I will do is directly the problem number 9. So problem number 8 I want you all to try on your own, the unsolved. I will directly do the problem number 9 with you, and of course the problem number 10. So once those two sums are over, then we will go to the next chapter that we have, that is accounts of not-for-profit organization. That is the receipt and payment, income and expenditure account to be prepared. That we will be starting from next week sometime onwards. So next week Tuesday, probably we will start with the next chapter. On Thursday I will do the problem 9, Monday I will do the problem 10, and then from Tuesday onwards we start with a new lesson. So these sums are such where you require a lot of practice. Please ensure that you all are practicing adequate number of sums in this topic. It will mostly be compulsory in your exam paper. You will not get a choice for this question, and it will carry a lot of marks. It will be around 15 marks for you in your exam, this topic. So please take this topic very seriously. Do not take this topic lightly at all. Okay, there are a lot of twists, there are things which you will forget. I still sometimes forget certain items. So, I mean, you all without practice will be an absolute mess of a situation. So, please make sure that you all are recollecting and interpreting all the items correctly, and then you all are solving it properly. Practice makes a man perfect. So, today I will stop here, and we will continue with it tomorrow. Alright? So, see you.